That as we go on. So we're going to start recording. We're going to also share this on live streaming. So on the World Wide Web. Okay, so welcome to Mastermind with Neil Schwartz, and our special guest today, we have Maverick from Hawaii. Malech, I don't even know Maverick. You have one of those names like Cher, you know.
That's like, right. I have no last name. It's just Maverick.
It's just Maverick.
That's it. Okay? That's it.
That's it. Congratulations. Do you do that in your marketplace?
You know, I do, except for the other day, I was calling a past client on the other side of the island, and I said, "Hey, it's Maverick," and he's like, "Maverick who?" And I said, "Maverick Malech." And he said, "Oh, yeah, okay." He goes, "I know another Maverick here on the island." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, imposters, you know, whatever. So
exactly.
Yeah, which is fine. You know, I don't care what you call me. Just don't call me late for lunch.
Exactly. Well, the only other Maverick I know is a Top Gun.
Well, there you go. You know what's funny is I was ordering coffee.
You're breaking up a little bit. Maverick, you there? Or is it me? Robert, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't
hear you now.
We can hear you. We can see you.
Got it. Okay. Robert, maybe you can text him. See if that'll work. We'll do our tap dancing here. So while we're waiting for Maverick to reconnect with us, any wins from prospecting this morning?
Neil, I have a win from doing what you told me to do on Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody else because they get annoyed at that.
Follow the instructions.
So tell me the story.
So we get the Stephen Thomas report, and you told me to contact, the sellers to say this is the time. So one seller I've been working with for a while, but she's kind of slow moving. I said, this is it. You have been notified. And so she goes, yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So we've got a meeting next Friday.
Good for you. Congratulations. Well, there you go. All right. So that's one. Now, if we can get 200 more, yes. Good stuff. Maverick, you there?
I am back.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. So Maverick Malech from Hawaii, we were kidding around about him being, there's more than one Maverick on the island of Hawaii, or are you on Maui?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
No, I'm actually on the island of Hawaii. A lot of people say, well, that's the big island with Honolulu, right? No, it's the big island of Hawaii. And this island, if you look at the chain, we're the southernmost island. We're the one with the active volcano. And so all the islands of Hawaii can fit onto our island twice over. That's how large we are. We are the country island, they call us, the least populated. So we only have 200,000 people on our island compared to the 1.5 in the state. And so a lot of people go to Maui or Oahu or Kauai, but very few people come to this island, which is a shame because I believe it's one of the most beautiful islands of all of Hawaii. A lot to explore, a lot to check out. So anyways, the photo, I apologize for not being on video, but if you look at the photo, I'm standing on the pier in Kailua Kona, and behind me is Kailua Kona, but also right there about my waist is the water, and that is the start of the Ironman World Championship. So
which is something you participate in.
I have. I've been blessed to be able to participate in it 3 times.
Fantastic. In itself, participating in an Ironman is a big deal, but there's a little more to your story, isn't there?
There is a little bit. So I actually hold several world records for the Ironman World Championship for being the only legally blind athlete to finish it 3 times.
Amazing. Amazing. That's fantastic. So
Yep.
what does that mean? Maverick legally blind.
So legally blind is, so if you go to a doctor, have your eyes checked, if you're 2200 or worse, then you are considered legally blind. In my case, there is no numbers or letters on the chart to describe my vision. I'm 1600. Basically, I'm blind, so to speak. I'm not like black blind. I can still walk and around, and once in a while I'll hit somebody, but otherwise I've not driven since 1996. And so I will use a cane when I'm outside, but I can still relatively see to a certain degree. I don't recognize necessarily people's faces. So if somebody walks up to me next month at the Superstar Retreat and says, "Hi, remember me?" And they cover their name badge, which is a joke because they can't see the name badge either. But I have to go by voice. Like Jack will walk up to me. Jack's fantastic. He'll walk up, "Hey, Maverick, it's Jack," right? And that's great. So, but anyways.
Fantastic. Well, good.
Yep.
So were you, how long you been selling real estate?
32 years.
Wow. So the blindness came on midway through real estate. I mean, is that something you've been dealing with your whole life?
So I was born with stigmatism, nearsightedness, but I was also given this hereditary disease called retinitis pigmentosa. And it didn't come to fruition until I was 30 years old. And I was involved in several car accidents. And I said, something's wrong with my eyesight. I need to go check it out. And so that's when I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa. I was told at the time, within 1 year, I'd be completely blind, like my grandfather, and that I should go learn Braille. And so I was 30. This was 1996. I quit driving because probably safer that way. I couldn't even comprehend driving now. I just can't see well enough. I was full-time real estate in Northern California. I was had 2 small kids under the ages of 2. I was a sole wage earner. And so it was pretty devastating at the time because, sometimes life hits you with life,
Right.
And so I was pretty depressed. I had a good business. I sold, I think 16 or 18 homes a year prior. I had just joined Mike Ferry Coaching, Premier Coaching at the time, that a couple months prior. So it was pretty devastating because I'm like, well, how am I going to drive? How am I going to get around? How am I going to go see clients? So I'm going to be blind. What the hell, right? And so for a couple of weeks, I was pretty, I don't want to say depressed. I was pretty in shock, so to speak. Okay, kind of like what happened here with COVID, right? All of a sudden things are shut down and we're at home, and all of a sudden it's like, well, how am I going to go sell? How am I going to do things? And so it was a couple of weeks later, I'm watching TV on a Saturday, and on NBC, and the Ironman World Championship was being played. And I didn't know anything about really the Ironman or really what it was. And so I was 265 pounds at the time. I'm 6'5". And so I'm like, I'm seeing all these great athletes, and I played college football. I played high school football. I did high school, shot put and discus. I was a big boy. And so when I saw the Ironman was going on, and all of a sudden it inspired me of all these amazing stories that how people were overcoming. And, people in your office were out selling real estate with COVID going on. And maybe you're sitting back at home and going, what the hell, how am I going to do this? And all of a sudden people are selling real estate. So maybe I should adapt and make changes in my life as well. And that's exactly what I did. And so I made a decision at that moment that I also wanted to do the Ironman World Championship, not knowing what it was going to take to get there. And so one step at a time, I said, okay, let's go start swimming. I need to learn how to swim. I need to go buy a bicycle. I never ridden a bicycle outside of, maybe a mountain bike. And then I need to start running. I had to go buy some running shoes. And so that initial action was very difficult to do. But then what was interesting, Neil, about a week or 2 weeks in the pool, not knowing what to do, this lady in the pool, she says, who's your coach? And I said, coach, right? And I relatively newer to the coaching in real estate, and it just kind of made sense. I always had coaches in high school and college, all the professional athletes, actors, actresses, singers, performers, they all have coaches. And so I said, well, who's your coach? He told me, and Coach Pete is still my coach today. And so he coaches me in my physical activities. And so since then, and then 8 years later, I did my first Ironman World Championship, then in 05 and then in 08 as well. I've been doing over 50 triathlons plus another 50 endurance races. I still work out today, not as much as I used to. I got hit by a car several years ago on a bicycle, and kind of like with my driving in my car, I said, okay, that's probably it. I'm done riding the bike by myself. So, but anyways, that's how I got into triathlon and Ironman, and at the same time, guys, is look at what you guys are currently doing. We're kind of coming out of this COVID thing, and so hopefully, you guys were been able to adapt and change, and the market's going to start adapting and changing here soon. So we need to make sure we're constantly being ahead of the game so we can be productive. 7 years ago, I moved to Hawaii, not knowing a single person here. I knew that I wanted to live in Kailua Kona, small community, great community, sunsets every day, beautiful water, and so forth. But not knowing anybody, not knowing real estate here. Now it's been 7 years, and I got quite a good business here. So adapt, and you can do amazing things.
So, I mean, it's an inspirational story. It's amazing, the life that you're leading right now. How old are the kids?
They are 27, 25. And, my kids were 2 and a newborn at the time. And so they saw what their dad started to do. And I taught them from a very young age that you could do and be whatever you want to be. And, I didn't think that what kind of an impact it would have. And my daughter lives in Long Beach down there by herself. She's written 4 books. She's an author. She's a copywriter for one of the largest ad agencies in the US. She writes the ads for Toyota for the Olympics. She's part of that team, and also she does all their online ads for Toyota, which
Wow.
is pretty big thing. And she loves it, absolutely loves it. And then my son, he's an officer with the Army, and he just got back from Syria, spending 8 months over in Syria kicking ISIS ass. And then he just put in for Special Forces. He's a Ranger, so now he's going to be going to Special Forces school here, which is a 6 months grueling task here in a couple months.
That's amazing, and we always thank the soldiers for their service, and sometimes we forget to thank the parents for what they have to go through. So thank you for what you've done to develop such a fine young man.
Yeah, he's well, he's one of those guys, Neil, that again, this is as a leader, he wanted to be a leader. And then, there's some certain responsibilities of being a leader. And so he's learning that at the heart. He lost a soldier, one of his soldiers in his platoon while he was there. That was a tough thing. They almost got into a big skirmish with the Russians over there. That was a big thing. He's had to make decisions as a young man. And I'm very proud of both my kids for what they've done.
Sounds like it. And I'm sure they're very, very proud of their father.
My son said to me the other day, he says, "Hey, Dad," he goes, "I got a challenge for you." And that's a wrong thing to say to me, because anybody says, "Hey, you can't do this," I'm going to show you I'm going to go do it, right? So if you said, "Maverick, I bet you can't make 100 contacts today," I'll go, "Screw you. Yes, I will. Watch this." Okay, I'll go do it. And so he says, "Hey, Dad, how about you do the Ironman again?" I go, "Nah, I've done it 3 times. I don't know. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of training." He goes, "But watch this, Dad. How about the only legally blind athlete along with the military son that can do it as a duo?" I'm like, "Oh, crap. Okay." Whatever, son, whatever.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good. So obviously attitude has a lot to do with where you are in a positive way. I mean, you've had a lot of things thrown at you in your life, and you keep blocking and tackling and doing what needs to be done. let's go back to the beginning. Let's kind of take it into the real estate world. I mean, we can do it in the beginning, or we could do it 7 or 8 years ago when you changed markets and had no past client and sphere. So let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, what's it take? What did you do? When you did restart yourself, I mean, you obviously had skill. Before you left the mainland, and how many transactions were you doing?
So, good question. I've been coaching for the Mike Ferry organization since 2005. And so prior to that, I was selling real estate in Northern California, doing extremely well. I was doing 40, 45, 49 transactions, making some good dough, And then I made the opportunity or the decision in 2005 to coach full time, just because I was asked, and I thought, what a great opportunity to work as Mike as my mentor. And so then I did that until 2011. And then I moved to Las Vegas to coach full time at the headquarters office for Mike. Now, obviously during 2005 to 2011, I was still selling real estate, but it was past clients, 20 deals here and there every year. No big deal. But then 2011, 2014, I was full time in Las Vegas, being with Mike. And then in 2014 is when I decided to move out to Hawaii and sell full time.
So in 2014, you moved to Hawaii with no past client and sphere base.
Zero.
Right.
Zero.
Okay. And so, I mean, what did you do and you were coaching for Mike, so you were making a little bit of money, but not the kind of money you're used to making.
Well, actually, Neil, what happened when I left in 2014, Mike, Sabrina, and I kind of made this decision that I need to get my business up and running here in Hawaii as quickly as possible. And so actually, I left coaching, not as a coaching client, but I left as a coach for 6 months.
Wow.
To get my business up and running. And so many years ago, back in the 1990s, I had a mastermind group, and I had Karen Bernardi, the great Karen Bernardi, as a guest. And now it's funny because now I have the opportunity. I've been coaching her for almost the past 2 years. But what's been interesting is I asked her, I said, well, what is the number one thing that you should, for the up and coming, what should we know? What advice would you give us? And she said, Maverick, know your product.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Know your product. She said, we sell homes. She said, every afternoon, if you have no appointment, get out, go preview, go see homes, go get to know the inventory. Well, that's what I did. I joined the MLS 6 months before I moved here. And so every day I was looking at the dashboard, I was looking at neighborhoods, I was pulling up maps, I was seeing what homes, complexes. Hawaii is pretty unique compared to the mainland. And so I was really getting to know the neighborhoods before I moved here. And so when I moved here, I took a listing within the first 5 days from a buy owner. And the buy owner later asked me how long he'd been in the island. I said, I just moved here a couple weeks ago. They said, what? You sounded so confident. We swore you've been here for years.
So the first thing you worked on was learning your inventory, learning the product, because if knowledge equals confidence, right?
That's correct.
How can I teach that to others?
Well, at this point, I would say to anyone, and I've been saying it to my coaching clients right now, is look, if you have no appointments in the afternoon, get out house, right? Don't stay in house, get out house, go see homes, go preview, go see a past client. If you're scared of COVID or you don't know what their situation is, get in your air-conditioned, cushy car, drive over to their house, sit in front of their house and call them and say, hey, Bob, I'm outside. Can you come out and play? Kind of thing. If they're not there, leave a note on their door. Drive through the neighborhood. You're going to see homes. You're going to see neighborhood. You're going to see 20 newspapers piled up in a driveway. You're going to see grass growing. You're going to see boarded up houses. You're going to see a for lease sign or buy owner sign. There's a lot you're going to see when you're out in the neighborhood. If you're not out previewing property, which I still do today, shame on you.
Well, wait a minute. How do you see the property and convey that information to the client? Talk to me about that.
So I'm sorry, what was the question?
how do you, when you preview property, what are you looking for to be able to communicate to your clients? Because the visual issue or the visual is a bit of an issue.
99% of my real estate clients have no idea that I have a visual problem. So like, I'll go with like either my wife or my assistant will go with me to a listing appointment, and I'll walk right behind them as they walk up steps or down steps. And then they'll visually give me like, if I look, I can see a hardwood floor versus carpet. I can see that it's granite counter versus, I couldn't tell you what color it is, but I can see it's granite versus tile. I can see, bedrooms, baths, square footage. I can see all that, right? I may look at decorations and go, yeah, that's a couch, that's a chair, big deal. I get that. But my wife or assistant have been taught to say, oh, wow, that is a beautiful chandelier. Where did you get that from? How much did you pay for that? Oh, look at that. Wow, that's an amazing view. Boy, you can see from here to there. And I look out and go, yeah, sure, okay. Wow, amazing view. Wow, that's amazing.
But even today,
yeah,
you have to get in the property as opposed to see the pictures. Well, you can't see the picture, but
no. So you could look on the MLS, right? I still see the photos online and so forth, but you could go sit in front of a house. You can see the neighborhood, you see how the house sits, and on your phone, you could pull up the MLS and look at the photos on the interior. You don't even need to go inside the house. You park down front.
However, you feel you need to physically get in the area of the property.
That is correct. You should. You're right. What's the backyard look like? How deep is the backyard? What kind of a view does it have? Those type of things. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to rely upon other agents' remarks in the MLS because some are good and some aren't so good.
Right.
But yeah, get out and see homes. Get to, you can drive into a neighborhood and you could have maybe 2 or 3 past clients or centers of influence. You can go see right in an hour or two while previewing 1 or 2 new properties that just came up or that are pending. Know your product.
Know your product. Okay, so that's the first thing you did.
That's correct.
You do that going in the front door because you've been studying it for 6 months before you got there.
That's correct.
Okay, so what else did she tell you to do?
Second thing, as soon as I got to the islands, I immediately started prospecting heavy. A lot of just listed, just solds, inexpired that we had. It was very, I'm in a small market, so we don't have a lot of by owners or expired. So a lot of just listed, just solds. And I was making 30, 40, sometimes even 50 contacts per day just to those people. And generated, I took my first listing again within 5 days, had my first sale and closing on day 89. So within 90 days, I had my first closing. I started calling agents from back in the mainland that I knew for referrals. Okay, agent referral should be a good source for anyone, no matter what market they're in. So it was prospect, and kept prospecting. I still prospect today.
Wow, fantastic. So you regrew that business in 6 months to a year to what? More or less.
So now I have over 1,200 people in my database.
Wow. How big?
Zero to 1,200 in 7 years.
How big's the market?
Well, hold on. So I track this. We have single family residents. We have under 40 actives, and condos is half of our market. We have 23 right now.
So that's
not very big.
That's the marketplace.
That's the marketplace. Yeah, that's actives as of today. We'll have in a week's time, we'll have 20 single family come on. We'll have 20 sell. Same thing with condos. We have about 15 that come on per week and about 15 that sell per week.
Got it.
Very minimal.
Right. How many agents in the area?
Over 400.
400?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, they quit asking for your driver's license, but the police pull you over. They ask for your real estate license.
So it sounds like if you have 10 new sales a week, that's 500 a year. So what? 1,000 sides in your marketplace a year? 1,200?
Last year was 1,600.
1,600
sides. Yep.
1,600 sides.
Yeah, there's 400 agents that are part of the MLS board, but there's probably another 50 that aren't, that are free roamers, free range. So if you look at most of the deals, there's probably maybe 20 of us that do most of the deals, kind of like any type of market.
Right.
Yeah.
So closed and pending for so far this year
For the market or for myself?
for you?
So the goal is, because I coach now full time, so that takes up quite a bit of my day. My goal is 30, and we're at, I think we're closing pending 16 or 17.
Okay. So
Not bad for a blind guy, huh?
Yeah, not bad for anybody, especially a blind guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you're on track for your goal.
Yes.
And you work full-time as a coach. How many coaching clients?
Right now I have 36.
Full-time job. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, it
for
works
you.
out good. So because of the time difference, I start coaching at 6 a.m. So I get up at 5:15 and then I start coaching at 6. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm done at 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then I could go produce. And then Thursday, I'm done at 8:30. It works out great. Yeah, it works out good. So I currently coach 36 people, 17 states and 3 provinces.
That's great. Maverick, in life, we're either a warning or an inspiration. You are right up there amongst all the inspirations I've ever talked to. So this has been great. We talked a little bit. What would you say your superpower is? Besides that beautiful
I know
smile.
what my kryptonite is.
Okay, let's go
Chocolate.
there. What's kryptonite?
Dark chocolate. Let's just say some of the local coffee shops where they serve Kona mochas, mostly mochas with a little bit of Kona coffee flavor. They all know me by first name, and so chocolate. There's a macadamia nut covered with dark chocolate with Kona coffee flavor. Oh my God, that's so. Anyways, I would say I have an ability that I've learned over the years. It's not something I was born with, but it's something that I've learned to master, so to speak, is looking more at the opportunity that's in front of me versus not the opportunity. I guess we'll call it mindset, all right? Having a strong mindset. So I think of like the Marines say that pain is temporary.
Pride
I
is
remember
right.
seeing that pain is temporary. And so then also somebody says that pain is a weakness leaving the body. Okay, pain is a weakness leaving the body. So if I combine those two, so pain is temporary and the pain is just is a weakness leaving the body. So if I'm in pain, so what? It just means, in a few days or minutes or so. And let me give you an example. So during COVID, right, it's been hard for everybody. I get it. Look, my mom passed away in October of last year unexpectedly. Okay, we were close. It hurts like a bitch, but life goes on, and dealing with it and so forth, and not me and so forth. In December, I broke 2 fingers. That was fun. In February, I broke my leg. In fact, to the point where I had is a stupid accident when I was out walking, but so I had 5 staples in my left leg, 6 in my right, stitches, and I broke my right leg. And when that accident happened, I sliced open my right leg, or actually both legs, but the right one was severe. And so after the accident happened, I am now walking. I'm still walking home. I was on a 15-mile walk. I'm about mile 9 or 10. And so I'm walking, and blood is just profusely running down my leg. And I'm thinking, well, now I'm going to cut my walk short. I'm about a mile from home. I can make it. And so I'm walking along one of the roads along the ocean, and I probably had a dozen people stop and ask, "Hey, brah, are you okay? You need an ambulance? Let me give you a ride." I'm like, nah, I'm fine. And I could feel my tennis shoe starting to get a little squishy, so I knew something was on. I didn't look down at my leg because I knew it was bleeding, and so forth. I kept walking, and finally the cyclist stopped. He says, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm walking home. He goes, how far? You go, I'm about a mile from home. And he says, no. He says, you got somebody to call? I said, yeah. And he says, call her. So I called my wife. She's about 20 minutes away. And the guy says, this guy is funny. He says, so he grabs the phone out of my hand. He says to my wife, you have two choices. You come pick up your husband within 30 seconds, or I'm calling an ambulance. And as soon as he says that, I fainted.
Wow.
For lack of blood.
Wow.
I didn't know it. I whatever. So, so of course I wake up and the ambulance was on its way, and then I was taking the ambulance and had a little surgery put on my leg and so forth. But and in fact, Neil, I'll show you the leg after it had been cleaned up in the hospital. But anyways, for me, the option was I could have sat where I had the accident and lament and cry and so forth, or I'm like, okay, stubbornly, let me go finish what I'm supposed to start off at and finish my walk. Now granted, thank God the cyclist came along and stopped me, because who knows what would have happened. But what I'm saying is pain is temporary, and the pain is just a weakness leaving the body. With that being said, now is we all have weaknesses, we all have things that we don't want to do, like talk to somebody, talk to a stranger, pick up the phone, come to prospecting, and have a Subway sandwich, right?
And we
But it's
cut
like,
those out.
yeah, but it's like, look, what other option do you have? What the hell else are you doing? We're salespeople. Go be a salesperson. Go talk to people. Go get a sale. It's like, remember that movie with Tom Cruise? And I think it was Mission Impossible. And he's talking to that lady. He says, look, with me, you live. Without me, you die.
No, it was he was a sports agent.
Okay. So whatever that movie was, right? He's like, with me, you live. Without me, you die. And I'm thinking, look, you should be that same type of attitude with your prospecting.
Yeah.
And with you calling your sellers and your leads, saying, look, with me, you sell. Without me, you don't sell. You in, you out. You out, goodbye. You in, let me meet. Let's get together. And that's the aggressiveness or attitude we should be having with our prospects and our leads right now. The business, oh my God, there's so much business out there. It's unbelievable. With sellers, not buyers.
Right. Yeah.
With sellers, yeah, not buyers.
Absolutely. Good job.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. One more thing. You've been doing this a long time in a lot of different areas. You coach a lot of people. Is there a particular objection handler or something that comes up occasionally that when it comes up, bam, you can handle it, take it away? Is there anything that works well for you?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for asking. And this, I also teach this at the Mike Ferry Prospecting Clinic. Also with my coaching clients, like I have the opportunity to coach some amazing people. I mentioned Karen Bernardi earlier. Oh, by the way, she's already at $4 million earned herself this year. Not bad, not bad. Also, I coach a guy by the name of Jeff Leslie. He's at 100 deals. Jenna Morton, she's at close to 100 deals. Luis Coronel from Indianapolis, he's got a goal of 300. He's on track for that. So there's a lot of business out there, but here's what's interesting. So I'll give you this objection handler. I'm going to ask you to write it down because it can handle most objections. Okay, most objections. So first of all, we need to remember that when we handle any objection, you always repeat it and acknowledge it. Right? We're going to go with another agent. Oh, you're going to go with another agent? Good for you. Right? You always acknowledge it, always repeat. You're going to go with another agent? What's the hell wrong with you? No, that's not what we do. But it's, oh, you're going to go with another agent? Good for you. Okay. Now I call this net more money close. Okay. Some of you probably already heard this before. They're going to put a little spin on it. Okay. It's net more money, because if you look at what sellers are doing in today's market, if they can net more money, then they'd want to know about it, right? Absolutely, they would. Okay, so if they can net more money, sure, let's see what you have to say. So like, for example, we're thinking about going with another agent. I appreciate the fact that you're going to go with another agent. Let me ask you, if you knew for a fact that you could net more money by listing and selling your home with me, you'd want to know about it, right? Of course you would. So let's
Right.
get together so I can show you. When can we meet? This week or next week? Okay, so net more money. So if you could list and sell with me versus net more money than blank. Okay, so if you could list and sell with me and net more money than blank. Well, blank could be going with a different agent, going with a discount broker, selling it on their own, waiting until next year. So if somebody hit me with an objection, I'll show you how this can work.
So let me ask you something. You know, how much do you charge for commission before you?
You know, Neil, I appreciate you asking that. It's a great question. In fact, so let me ask you, when I meet with you, you want to see how much you can net more money. Is that correct?
Correct.
Good. So if you knew for a fact you would net more money by listing and selling with me, you'd want to know about that, right?
Sure.
Great. So when would you like to get together? This week or next week?
Easy close.
I mean, it can work for most objections that one gets.
Right.
Okay. Now the key is going to be is always get, well, how do I show them I'm going to net them more money? I charge 5%. Somebody else is going to charge them 3%. It's not about that. It's not about how much we charge up front. It's on the back end. That's a whole different discussion, but you got to get your foot in the door. That's the whole goal with leads and lead follow prospect is to get your foot in the door.
We're in the meet the people business, right?
Yeah, and that's part of getting out in the afternoons, Neil, is getting out house, go and seeing people face to face, go set up meetings, go see a lead face to face, a past client centered influence, go preview a house, go talk to some attorneys, go and just get out. Somebody said, she got out the other day. One of her best friend's mother passed away, so she went to the funeral, the reception, whatever it's called, and she goes, "It's funny, Maverick. I was there, and there's 2 past clients there." I go, "What a great opportunity for them to ask you about real estate."
Right.
Right. So go to a funeral, get out, go see people.
Oh, good job. Maverick, this has been excellent. You open for some questions?
Fire away. I don't know if I know all the answers, but we'll go for it. We'll see what we can do.
So we're going to open it up for questions. Raise your hand or reach out or wave or do something like that. So who's got a question for Maverick right now? Go ahead, Tess.
Hi, Maverick. This is Tess.
Hey, what's up, young lady?
I'm doing well. First of all, I want to say thank you so much I have a privilege of having you as my coach. And that
Yes,
was
you
an
did.
amazing year. So,
Well, when are you coming back? So I kick your ass some more.
I know. I'm back, actually. So,
All right, good for you. Good.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Good.
So my question to you is this. I mean, I know that COVID hit and you are amazing. You are a total trooper. How do you actually get yourself really, I know when I was coaching with you, you always tell me you gotta set some goals that are very, very, like Neil would say, very sexy, that motivate you.
Yep.
I mean, how did you do that? And in my end, how would you advise me to be driven is what it is. I gotta really be driven.
So one of the things, that's a great question, Tess. There was a great quote I just read the other day from, what's that guy's name? Branson?
Uh-huh.
Is it Richard Branson or whatever the guy's name is?
Yeah.
Right? So he says so he says, if your goals do not make you uncomfortable, they're too small.
Oh, okay.
If your goals don't make you uncomfortable, they're too small.
Got it.
Okay, so what you have to do, Tess, is think of what would make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
And then make that, like for example, I always think of physical things, right? So I broke my leg in February. Doctor says 6 months, stay off your leg. I said, wrong thing to say to Maverick. 6 months, I'll show you, right? So guess what I did on Tuesday? I ran 5 miles.
All right.
4 months later. Okay. Now my leg's killing me,
Uh-huh.
but the point is that it made me uncomfortable to do that. So you have to set goals that would make you uncomfortable, Tess.
Is it also added to it would be a little bit more competitive? Because when we're just starting, and I remember this when I was starting my business, I'm so driven and I'm very competitive. I like to
Right.
always win,
Okay.
and like what you said, be really driven and set some really goals that made you uncomfortable.
That make you uncomfortable. Correct. So what I would do is it's very difficult. You don't want to necessarily compare yourself with others because that could be challenging in this
Yeah.
market, right?
Right.
Some are bigger, taller, younger, smarter, and so forth. I get that. But at the same time, though, is why don't you compete against yourself?
Right.
Okay. Why don't you look and see what was your best listing month in the past 12 months, and why don't you set a goal for the month of July to beat that,
Got it.
and do everything possible to make that happen. Then tell everybody what you plan on doing.
Beautiful. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Oh, you bet.
All right. Great question, Tess. Thanks. Thank you, Maverick. All right.
Yep.
Other questions from Maverick?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, and thank you for coaching me in the past too, Maverick. This is Jack.
Is there anybody in Neil's office that haven't coached yet?
A couple.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, it's about that story where you hurt yourself. You kept on walking back home.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, I probably would have never done that.
Most people won't, Jack,
Mm-hmm.
because
But
they've been still sitting there along the side of the road, crying or calling somebody out because it was bleeding pretty bad. I was in severe pain. Again, I broke the leg. But for me, I'm like, I have two options here. Okay, I can sit here and lament, or I can do something about it. Now, thinking about it, I didn't think it was as bad as it was. But after about a third of a mile, and 12 people stopping and asking, "Are you okay? Should I call an ambulance?" Finally, the cyclist, kind of helped talk me into it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your question is?
So the mindset, I get distracted or I get stopped, from things, that can come up in life. And then, I don't dwell on that too much, but there would be days, a couple of days or sometimes, a week or two that where I get trapped in that, the curveball that's thrown at me. So how do I, to develop a mindset where it doesn't, or at least shorten that, that distraction?
You have everything you want in life?
Well, I guess the obvious one would be COVID.
The answer, no. Do you have everything you want in life?
Oh, no, I don't.
Why not?
Huh? Why not?
Do you have the ability to go make the life that you want?
Yes.
Go do it. There's going to be curveballs and stuff thrown at you because we lose sight of what we're trying to accomplish.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Okay. So start, as Tess said, start looking at goals that would make you uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and start going after it. The reason we hesitate and we stop is because we get comfortable with what we have or where we're at, versus looking across the other side of the highway going, wow, that's better over there. But geez, I'm gonna have to cross this 8-lane highway to get there. Don't let things around you stop you from going making it happen.
Okay, that was great. Thank you.
Yep.
Excellent. Good question, Jack. Great answer, Maverick. Thank you. Other questions for Maverick right now? Anyone else?
Oh, I have a question, Neil. Maverick, you said in 7 years you built your database to 1,200 people. I heard that. Did I hear that right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. So building the database is a struggle for a lot of people. How did you do that? Do you ask every person you talk to, do you mind if I add you to my database? Is it just as simple as that?
No. So if you were to look at the database, it's 400 or past clients.
Okay.
Okay. Then there's the vendors, there's the affiliates, there's neighbors, there's friends. I'm part of the Rotary Club here in Kona. I'm one of the trustees for a company called Full Life that helps with mentally and physically challenged adults and children. I'm also part of the board for the Rotary Foundation. So my center of influence got expanded by those things. I go to coffee every Friday morning, have I call it my team meeting. And while I'm there, I'll always introduce or meet somebody new there, find out who they are and what they're involved in, ask them a lot of questions, and see if they possibly could be added to my list. I'm very careful about who goes into my list. I just don't want strangers. I don't want people that are just listed, just sold calls and had a nice conversation. I'm not adding those. I'd make absentee owner calls, and somebody may ask me, hey, would you keep me abreast as to what's going on in the market and the values of my home? Great. Would you mind if I called you every 90 days and ask you, who do you know? They're like, absolutely. So it's a process. I look to add one person per day to my list. And I'll bet you if we were to look at your emails, your cell phone, your Christmas cards you get every year, I bet you have way more than 100 to 200 people you could add today. But it's a process. You got to make the decision. You're going to add one person per day to your database. You can make it happen.
Okay, good.
Great. Thank you.
Great answer. Good question.
You bet.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, unmute yourselves, please. Unmute yourself. Let's give this guy a very big hand. Woo!
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you. So as I mentioned earlier, I sell real estate as well as coach. So I have a wonderful assistant, Christy. My wife is also working with me. So that's my team. The three of us. It is very profitable. And so write down this email address, and then also give you my phone number should you have any referrals for the state of Hawaii. It's just Team Maverick Hawaii at Gmail. So Team Maverick, Maverick, Hawaii, Hawaii. So Team Maverick Hawaii at gmail.com.
Team Maverick Hawaii at gmail.com.
Team Maverick Hawaii at gmail.com. And then I have access to that. My wife and assistant also have access to it. But my direct cell phone number is area code 808-282-9022. 282-9022. Feel free to call me. Do not text me, because the response you'll get from me is a phone call saying, sorry, a phone call is much faster than a text.
Maverick, we posted it in the chat box, all that information.
Oh, good. Perfect.
It's all posted for you. For our agents, just copy and paste it into your books.
Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely. Maverick, this has absolutely been fantastic. What we do now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I'm sure quite a few of you are coming to the retreat next month, that's fantastic. If you have any questions, feel free to come up to me. That'd be great. Just look for the tall. I mean, you got my picture right there. I look the same. I may or may not have a mask on, just depending on the situation. But otherwise, feel free to call me or email me and ask me any questions. I believe that I have a pretty strong mindset. Do I have times of weak moments? Yeah, put a piece of chocolate in front of me and good luck. but otherwise, yeah, no, I'm as Mike would say, I don't watch the news. I read and listen to positive things. I love sports. And, with COVID and everything, I made a shift or pivot, which is a key word these days, of making sure that I completely dove into head first with my mind, keeping it positive, keeping it on straight, because I knew that this COVID thing was going to be tough for many people. So I want to make sure that I was ahead of the crowd.
Well, you were and you are. So it's really good stuff. We appreciate it. What we do now is we take the next 5 or 10 minutes, kind of go around the group. You're welcome to hang back and listen and try to review what we've learned from you today. So it kind of sets in, locks in, and we can do something with it right away. So again, let's give Maverick a big hand. Good work. Woo! All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, Neil. I appreciate it. I really
Maverick,
respect.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
No, I respect you, Neil, and I've known you for over, a long time now, since I had hair, or when I used to have hair. But I've known you for a long time, and you've been steady Eddie with what you do and what you preach and teach. And I appreciate that about you. A lot of brokers have come and gone, but you've been there steady. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, good job. What did we learn from Maverick today? And it's probably the list is endless, but let's, who wants to go first? What did we learn in our mastermind group today?
No
I guess I'll
appointment.
start it out,
Oh,
Neil,
I'm gonna start.
okay, go.
Go ahead,
No,
Valerie.
no appointment. Go know your product.
Yeah.
Don't
Go
know.
know your product. Absolutely.
Don't know.
Absolutely. Good
No,
job.
yeah.
Moni, how about you? Moni? Moni, did you have something you learned you wanted to share? No. All right. Who else has something they want to share?
I'll say something.
Please.
Because I
Tess.
kind of know Maverick. After what he's really gone through, he really took care of his mindset. Nothing will stop him. He is relentless.
I think that's something that we can all take away from that. From this
Absolutely.
whole conversation is no matter what's going on in your life, it's how you react to it. We've talked about that before, and Maverick is just, a step above that. So it doesn't matter what happens to you in life. What matters is how you react to it.
Exactly.
And he is an amazing inspiration that way. Thank you, Tess. Good stuff.
Amazing.
Go ahead, Josie. Go ahead.
Josie Jellick, yes. So many things, like you said, Neil. I don't want to say them all, but if you sell without me, you don't sell. Sell with me, you sell. Without me, you don't sell.
Yeah.
If your goals don't make you uncomfortable, then they're too small.
Right. It's a great thought, right?
And add one person a day
Uh-huh.
and go visit past clients or leads in the afternoon. Great.
Great concept. Great concept. Okay, we should all write that one down, maybe. Huh?
Hey, Neil, maybe
Yes,
maybe the office door should be locked at 1 o'clock. Nobody's allowed to come in. They should be- But they should be out in the field on appointments,
out in the field.
going seeing people face to face, going
Yeah.
previewing.
You
They should
mean
be
now
out.
that, yeah, absolutely. That's
Yep.
another, yeah, you bet it, babe. You
Yep.
got it. All right, what else do we learn today? Go ahead, Robert.
So first of all, Maverick, greatly appreciate it. Always love listening to hear you talk, no matter whether it's at a retreat or anything like this. I wrote down a couple things. First of all, I'm glad my dad wasn't on here because after listening to what your kids are doing, he'd be so disappointed in me.
No, you're in real estate, dude. That's awesome.
The second thing I wrote down here, if your goals don't make you uncomfortable, your goals are too small. And I wrote that down because, Neil, you and I have been talking about this a lot on our training and coaching calls, is complacency with the agents who are making the most money they've ever made. And that line right there is, if your goals don't make you uncomfortable, your goals are too small. But I even like how Maverick expanded on that with that 8-lane highway analogy. It's better across the street, but you got to cross 8 lanes. Well, don't worry about the 8 lanes. Get across the street. Don't worry about the barriers in front of you. Just get there. But it's all, the mindset that he has, that you're not going to stop him. He said the worst thing you can ever tell him is, I got a challenge for you. Well, so imagine being a real estate agent and, having that mentality of, hey, can you make Centurion this year? Can you close this many deals? Just that if you don't have that mentality that you can challenge me, I'm going to take it on. Man, it's a tough uphill climb, but that mindset is something.
Hey, Robert, what's above a Centurion?
Double Centurion.
Centurion and Grand.
What's above that?
Grand Centurion.
Grand
But
Centurion.
what's the highest?
Grand Centurion.
Well, screw Centurion. Go for the Grand. What the hell are you talking about? That's like 3rd place. Geez, go for the Grand.
I apologize.
That's okay. Oh, by the way, turkey and avocado next time I'm in your office.
Sold.
Yeah, 12-incher.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, I do nothing small. Nothing
There you
small.
go. I got you.
And no Subway tuna.
No Subway tuna. Give me turkey and avocado on 12-incher.
It's all
Give me
yours.
big.
You let me know.
If they
you
got
know?
if they got a party sandwich, party sub, get that too. I'll eat that one too.
All right,
Yeah,
no
all right,
problem.
good.
Boy, I tell you, you're really costing me a lot of money over here with
Good.
Subway, Maverick.
Well, because they're all going to be making more money while they're out selling in the afternoon.
Oh, that's great.
All right, what else did we learn from Maverick today? What else? Anyone else have something you want to share?
Yeah, this Money.
Money.
I'm sorry, I missed. Yeah, I just appreciate. He said, if someone has an agent, you just say that's great. You have an agent, but if you list with me, you will net more money from listing.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. You know what? We're at 12:15. We've got to move on. Maverick, this is we appreciate your time. We appreciate you hanging around. We appreciate you calling in. It's what time is it there? 10 o'clock?
It is 10 o'clock. Yeah, I've already had 6 coaching calls, been up early. I was up before the rooster. It was awesome.
All right. Well,
Yep.
you're the man. We really appreciate you. All right, let's give him one last Yahoo! All right.
Yay,
Thanks, Neil.
Maverick,
We'll see most of you guys in
All
about
right,
3 weeks in Vegas.
All
I
right,
have a
we'll
quick
see you in a few
question
weeks.
for Maverick. Maverick, are you still taking buyers in Hawaii?
Hold on. Let me grab my trash can and throw up. Did you just say buyers?
Yeah.
Why the hell would you still work with buyers in today's hot market?
I don't. I thought
Okay.
okay, got it.
Refer them out. Go after sellers. Okay, go after sellers. What's going to happen right now is as the inventory starts to slightly increase, buyers are going to have more options. What does that mean for buyers agents? Spending more time working with their buyers, trying to find them the right property. Quit working with buyers. Go after sellers.
I was going to refer a buyer to you in Hawaii.
So if you got a buyer for me, I will personally not work with them, but we will make sure someone who's really good does. That's my wife.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Maverick, thanks again, buddy.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Big time.
Woohoo!
All right, guys. Woo! Amazing.
amazing.
Absolutely amazing.